Hare Krishna. Wave so they can see us because it's a long shot.
Hare Krishna.
That's us over here.
Hare Krishna.
Where are we?
Oh my God, it's 100 degrees plus.
At least. Actually, the thing we're sitting on is so hot you can't believe it's like...
No, I can't believe it.
Toasted buns. Oh, did I say that?
Because I sat here longer than you while you tried to set up.
Yes.
Anyway, we're in ISKCON Houston. On the...
Houston, and it is literally...
Oh my days. Houston's in Texas, by the way.
Houston, Texas. This is ISKCON Temple here.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful deities.
Yes.
Anyway, you can look on some other pages because we probably won't put the deity picture here unless she becomes ready.
I'll do it because the internet connection is better here than Dad.
And beautiful, beautiful deity of Radha Neela Madhav.
Yeah.
And they also have these wonderful Jagannath deities. That, there's a little bit on the Bhakti Vision. You can check that out to hear about those deities. Anyway, we're here
Nitai
doing
and Giri.
And Giriraj. And
anyway, let's be quick because seriously, only mad dogs and Englishmen would be out in this sun.
That's right, and it's coming up to the hottest part of the day.
It's over 100 degrees.
2:20 p.m. and it is 100 degrees. It's 100 degrees and it feels probably like 110.
Well, 150.
Okay. So where are we reading from?
Canto 3, chapter 27, text 27. Oh.
Is it?
Yeah, what a conundrum.
Conundrum? I don't think it's a conundrum. Maybe a coincidence.
It's not a coincidence. My arms are burning. Oh
yeah,
my God.
Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
I might miss the word. Maybe that's how I chant. Okay. Text 20. Oh yeah, quickly, I do need to say this. I'm not messing about.
This is it.
You would have seen another vlog before this. So I did write in capital letters special edition because that was from reading from Canto 11 with Nitai and his friend Michael Dixon. So just if there's confusion in what they're reading, I did put that as capital letters special edition because that particular devotee is reading from that place. We're here for a while in the States and it was just something special. Yeah,
and I think there's no harm. We're still reading Bhagavatam as I explained, but here we are reading 3,
oh my God, okay.
27.
Let's see if we make it. When a person thus engages in devotional service and self-realization for many, many years and births, he becomes completely reluctant to enjoy any one of the material planets, even up to the highest planet, which is known as Brahmaloka. He becomes fully developed in consciousness. Purport. Anyone engaged in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is known as a devotee. But there is a distinction between pure devotees and mixed devotees. A mixed devotee engages in devotional service for the spiritual benefit of being eternally engaged in the transcendental abode of the Lord in full bliss and knowledge. In material existence, when a devotee is not completely purified, he expects material benefit from the Lord in the form of relief from material miseries. Or he wants material gain, advancement in knowledge of the relationship between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entity, or knowledge as to the real nature of the Supreme Lord. When a person is transcendental to these conditions, he is called a pure devotee. He does not engage himself in the service of the Lord for any material benefit or for understanding of the Supreme Lord. His one interest is that he loves the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he spontaneously engages in satisfying him.
I don't think I've ever heard her read so quickly. So this is a distinction being created here between a pure devotee, a Shuddha Bhakta, and a mixed devotee, Mishra Bhakta. So like that. So we can hear that a mixed devotee is looking for some kind of, I think Prabhupada says, material gain. He expects material benefit from the Lord in the form of relief from material misery. So we come to the Lord to pray, please help me to get free from this distress. Please help me to get a good job. Please help me. So at least we're going to the Lord, and that is bhakti, that is devotion. but it's with a motivation, asking what I can get out of the relationship, whereas pure devotion means that, as a famous saying, and I can never remember if it's Kennedy or Lincoln, one of the U.S. presidents, since we're in America. If you know, you can put it down below. They said, ask not what you can do for your country, but what your country can do for you. I think it was Kennedy. Yeah, I think it was Kennedy.
Yeah, it was.
So ask not what God can do for me, but what I can do for God. That's the idea.
I like the sentence, the first sentence. Anyone engaged in devotional service is known as a devotee. That's really nice. Okay, Prabhupada qualifies that there is a distinction, fair enough, and we may make that, and we see that. But the fact that if you're engaged in devotional service, you're a devotee.
Yeah.
Bus, that's really nice.
Okay, next paragraph. The highest example of pure devotional service is that of the gopis in Vrindavan. They are not interested in understanding Krishna, but only in loving him. That platform of love is the pure state of devotional service. Unless one is advanced to this pure state of devotional service, there is a tendency to desire elevation to a higher material position. A mixed devotee may desire to enjoy a comfortable life on another planet with a greater span of life, such as on Brahmaloka. These are material desires, but because a mixed devotee engages in the service of the Lord, ultimately after many, many lives of material enjoyment, he undoubtedly develops Krishna consciousness. And the symptom of this Krishna consciousness is that he is no longer interested in any sort of materially elevated life. He does not even aspire to become a personality like Lord Brahma. And this is all based on the verse that was read today. Now, I'm just wondering if I'm definitely in this category, mainly because right now all I want is a cool seat, because this seat is literally burning my rear end. Literally, it is burning. This thing is so hot. I think you could actually...
Fry an egg.
No, we don't fry eggs. I wasn't going to say that, and I can't believe you did. You could definitely cook a tofu steak.
No, you couldn't cook a tofu steak.
You could cook a tofu steak. It is so hot.
It is hot, yeah.
It is.
I didn't say I was going to eat the egg.
I don't know how you're even sitting here. Okay.
I do feel it, but not as much as him, because I've got a lot of padding on my bottom. So.
See, we were going to read inside, but they locked the doors because they close it down until about, 4 o'clock?
4:30. But that's due to follow on from COVID. Otherwise, it would normally be open, those of you who may want to visit. But they're still coming out of the lockdown and COVID.
See, we were meant to be in Dallas before this, but Dallas was COVID code red state, so that meant that it was quite quote, dangerous to go there. So.
Yeah, which is surprising because of the heat, and they say the heat kills it off.
Yeah, but anyway, we're not going to get into COVID talk.
Are we going to read another one?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my Lord. Alright, text 28 and 29. My devotee actually becomes self-realized by my unlimited causeless mercy, and thus, when freed from all doubts, he steadily progresses towards his destined abode, which is directly under the protection of my spiritual energy of unadulterated bliss. That is the ultimate perfectional goal of the living entity. After giving up the present material body, the mystic devotee goes to that transcendental abode and never comes back. Purport. Actual self-realization means becoming a pure devotee of the Lord. The existence of a devotee implies the function of devotion and the object of devotion. Self-realization ultimately means to understand the personality of Godhead and the living entity, is to know the individual self, and the reciprocal exchanges of loving service between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entity is real self-realization. This cannot be attained by the impersonalists or other transcendentalists. They cannot understand the science of devotional service. Devotional science is revealed to the pure devotee by the unlimited causeless mercy of the Lord. This is especially spoken of here by the Lord, Mat Prasadena, by my special grace. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Only those who engage in devotional service with love and faith receive the necessary intelligence from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that gradually and progressively they can advance to the abode of the personality of Godhead.
Now, my suggestion is that we read, because actually there's only this purport and a short purport after, and we'll finish the chapter. And I think it's an austerity, so as an austerity to the Bhagavatam, we'll do that, okay?
But Prabhupada said we don't need to sort of set ourselves on in like a ring of fire and sit in it. We can just chant Hare Krishna and eat halwa. I'm just saying.
Okay, so what do you want to do?
Alright, just get on with it.
So we also are learning about how couples, relationships, how they can work better together.
I'm just dying.
Nishreyasa means the ultimate destination. Swa samstana indicates that the impersonalists have no particular place to stay. The impersonalists sacrifice their individuality so that the living spark can merge into the impersonal effulgence emanating from the transcendental body of the Lord. But the devotee has a specific abode. The planet rests in the sunshine, but the sunshine itself has no particular resting place. Okay? When one reaches a particular planet, then he has a resting place. The spiritual sky, which is known as Kaivalya, is simply blissful light on all sides, and it is under the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 14:27. Brahmano hi pratishtaham. The impersonal Brahman effulgence rests on the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, the bodily effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Kaivalya, or impersonal Brahman. In that impersonal effulgence, there are spiritual planets which are known as Vaikunthas, chief of which is Krishna Loka. That little breeze feels so good, Krishna. That is like super sense gratification for me right now. Some devotees are elevated to the Vaikuntha planets, and some are elevated to the planet of Krishna Loka. According to the desire of the particular devotee, he is offered a particular abode, which is known as Swa Samstana, his desired destination. By the grace of the Lord, the self-realized devotee engaged in devotional service understands his destination even while in the material body. He therefore performs his devotional activities steadily, without doubting, and after quitting, this feels so good, and after quitting his material body, he at once reaches the destination, goodness gracious, for which he has prepared himself. After reaching that abode, he never comes back to this material world.
What did you do?
I think the rubber on my case is melting.
There you go. It's so hot, the rubber on his laptop case is melting.
Okay, anyway, carry on.
And we're sitting anyway. All right, final paragraph.
Actually, the computer is becoming so hot I can actually barely...
Why does he tell me to carry on and then he says something? Okay, final paragraph. The words lingad vinegami, which are used here, mean after being freed from two kinds of material bodies, subtle and gross. The subtle body is made of mind, intelligence, false ego, and contaminated consciousness. And the gross body is made of five elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether.
Lots of fire at the moment.
When one is transferred to the spiritual world, he gives up both the subtle and the gross bodies of this material world. He enters the spiritual sky in his pure spiritual body and is stationed in one of the spiritual planets. Although the impersonalists also reach that spiritual sky after giving up the subtle and gross material bodies, they are not placed in the spiritual planets. As they desire, they are allowed to merge in the spiritual effulgence emanating from the transcendental body of the Lord. The word Swa Samstanam is also very significant. As a living entity prepares himself, so he attains his abode. The impersonal Brahman effulgence is offered to the impersonalists, but those who want to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his transcendental abode, in his transcendental form, as Narayan in the Vaikunthas or Krishna in Krishna Loka, go to those abodes, wherefrom they never return.
So the whole point of this verse and purport, as far as I can tell, is that we should be preparing ourselves to go back to the spiritual world, knowing that there's a destination beyond the impersonal Brahman or merging into God or trying to become God, that we are actually heading back to the spiritual planet where Krishna eternally resides, Krishna Loka. We want to skip over Brahma Loka, all the heavenly planets, and just go back and be with him. So in order to do that, as Prabhupada says here, we have to clear our contaminated consciousness and false ego so that we're actually prepared. And that means we're going to have to endure and tolerate happiness and distress, heat and cold, victory and defeat all of those dualities in the material world, as we were discussing with Michael in the other video. Okay? So we'll read text 30, and then we will finish chapter 27. So here we go. When a perfect yogi's attention is no longer attracted to the byproducts of mystic powers, which are manifestations of the external energy, his progress toward me becomes unlimited, and thus the power of death cannot overcome him. So one of the last allurements, you could say, is that we develop some mystic cities or perfections by worshiping the Lord, and lots of people do that. I know in Radhanath Maharaj's book, The Journey Home, he talks a lot about these yogis in the Himalayas who have developed mystic cities. So they're out there, they exist, and it's a thing. But when we give that up, then we make progress. Purport. Yogis are generally attracted to the byproducts of mystic yogic power, for they can become smaller than the smallest or greater than the greatest, achieve anything they desire, have power even to create a planet, or bring anyone they like under their subjugation. Yogis who have incomplete information of the result of devotional service are attracted by these powers, but these powers are material. They have nothing to do with spiritual progress. Very powerful and super important. As other material powers are created by the material energy, mystic yogic powers are also material. A perfect yogi's mind is not attracted by any material power, but is simply attracted by unalloyed service to the Supreme Lord. Yoginam api sarvesham matgatin antar atmanaha. The highest yogi is the Bhakta. For a devotee, the process of merging into the Brahman effulgence is considered to be hellish, and yogic power, or the preliminary perfection of yogic power to be able to control the senses, is automatically achieved. As for elevation to higher planets, a devotee considers this to be simply hallucinatory. A devotee's attention is concentrated only upon the eternal loving service of the Lord, and therefore the power of death has no influence over him. In such a devotional state, a perfect yogi can attain the status of immortal knowledge and bliss. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 3rd canto, 27th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Understanding Material Nature.
Jai.
Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. So let us give up.
Surya Dev ki Jai.
Surya Bhagavan ki Jai. Let us give up material desires for whatever they may be.
Well, one of my material desires right now is water and AC room, and I don't think I'll give that up at the moment.
Yes. But we're doing that so that we can continue in our devotional service.
Okay.
Right now, if you could feel, there is like literally perspiration pouring down.
Hello, if I said that, everyone knows, you'd be like, Hare Krishna.
Okay, we're going to go now. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Jai.